Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Heli-Aerobat pilot Chuck Aaron retires. Union claims a pilot is fired for making an emergency landing. Arachnid on a plane causes a delay. I'm Bree Cross. It is September 30th, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. For those of us who are amazed anytime we see a helicopter do something wild, we are sad to read a tweet from Heli-Aerobat pilot Chuck Aaron saying that he is retiring from the airshow circuit. He said his last airshow will be at the Red Bull Air Race in Las Vegas on October 17th through the 18th. If you think helicopter aerobatics looks like something that just shouldn't be happening, the Red Bull team website makes it clear how unusual it is. The site says that just 3 pilots in the world hold aerobatic helicopter licenses, and all of them fly with Red Bull markings. Chuck Aaron is the only American. Aaron, who has been a member of the elite Flying Bulls with fellow helicopter stuntmen Siegfried Schwartz and Rainier Wilk, has been flying upside down for 9 years, although the Red Bull website points out that he's been flying right side up for much longer. It takes a great pilot to do the aerobatics he does in a helicopter, and we will miss him on the airshow circuit. According to the Airline Professionals Association Teamsters Local 1224, a pilot was fired for making an emergency landing. The pilot of an Allegiant Airlines flight from St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, to Maryland on June 8th returned to the airport after a flight attendant reported smelling smoke or fumes, similar to burning rubber shortly after takeoff. The pilot declared an emergency and landed back at the departure airport. The plane's emergency slides were deployed, and the 141 passengers were evacuated. 4 were reportedly slightly injured during the evacuation. It's now reported that mechanics could not find anything wrong with the aircraft, and the union claims that the pilot was fired because he made an issue of safety during contract negotiations. The report says the airline accused its pilot of trying to create an impression among the flying public that Allegiant is taking shortcuts on maintenance as a way to gain leverage during the negotiations. The pilot was not identified by the union for confidentiality reasons. After these messages, an 8-legged passenger causes a flight delay.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Remember that legendary movie, Snakes on a Plane, a while back? Well, here's a real-life accounting of another creepy crawly critter getting loose in the cargo hold of an aircraft. The aircraft was to have operated as Delta Flight 1525 from Atlanta to Baltimore, but the flight was delayed when a baggage handler noticed that a baboon tarantula had escaped from its container in the cargo hold. According to reports, the spider was never in the passenger cabin, and it was recaptured without incident. The arachnid's handler was located, and he confirmed that it was the only baboon tarantula in the shipping container. But out of an abundance of caution, the pilots of the flight opted not to fly that airplane until they could be sure. The passengers were transferred to another airplane, and that one departed about 3 hours late. It is not reported if the tarantula and its handler were on board. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
Morning handed that technology over to the Blackhawk, matured it, and demonstrated it on an optionally piloted Blackhawk operational concept.
We are all familiar with the small vertical lift UAVs that are becoming ever so popular. In this video, you'll see a vertical lift UAV that will not fit in your backpack, as Sikorsky demonstrates a remote control system for its famous Blackhawk helicopter. This video shows the optionally piloted Blackhawk in action. Search optionally piloted Blackhawks on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, FAA issues an emergency AD for UH-12 helicopters.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Now certified Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B ATX100 and ATX100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The FAA has issued an emergency AD for model UH-12 series helicopters. The AD refers to cracks in the main rotor blade fork at the tension torsion retention pinholes. The AD includes certain serial numbers, however, the investigation is ongoing. The Secretary General of ICAO, Dr. Feng Liu, put her global community's strong case for increased aviation development. She spoke this past weekend during a plenary session of the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit held in New York. EASA has certified a limited ice protection system for the AW-189 super medium twin-engine helicopter. The AW-189 is the first helicopter in its category to receive an ice protection system certification. The system is designed for typical North Sea operations. Boeing celebrated completion of its Utah expansion projects in West Jordan and Salt Lake City with its first 787-9 Dreamliner horizontal stabilizer manufactured start to finish in Utah. Boeing says the Salt Lake facility will become a major composites manufacturing center. Wheels Up, the membership-based private aviation company, has completed its first closing on a capital raise of up to $115 million from leading financial institutions. The company says this funding will allow it to expand in the U.S. and internationally. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. EAA announced last week that Ray Scholler passed away on September 20th at the age of 97. According to EAA, Ray became a member of EAA in the 1950s and helped with countless fly-ins and chapter events. Camp Scholler on the AirVenture grounds was named in 1998 for him and his wife Bernice to honor the tireless effort they put into preparing the EAA grounds for the association's move to Oshkosh. Ray earned the Freedom of Flight Award in 1991 and the Chairman's Award in 1994, among many other recognitions. Ray and Bernice co-owned several airplanes, but were particularly fond of their own Beechcraft Debonair they had named Debbie. Ray was buried alongside Bernice, who passed away last year. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.